We interrupt your regularly scheduled talk show. It's time for something new.
Adverse reaction.
Adverse reaction.
Adverse reaction.
Adverse reaction.
Y'all ready? Open up your mind, let your conscience free. Adverse reaction is the voice of the street.
Hey, I just want to say, guys, according to Zoe, I do not have irritable bowel syndrome.
Zoe is a hater. Last night, Zoe is so mean saying you had IBS.
No, man.
We're putting up the
Hater.
prayers for you, bro.
It's all good. I appreciate it.
I stood up for you. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Because I was like, wait a second. All right, guys. Hey, we got a lot to talk about. Please do not kill the messenger. But a new study suggests that smoking marijuana is crazy because smoking marijuana every day can make you crazy. Like literally. No, I'm not joking, for real. We'll talk about it in a second. And later in the show, we'll explore prejudice and black. Should black and brown people be held to a higher standard, considering all the racism we've endured?
Well, tonight's show is being brought to you by mistakes. You make them, I make them. We all make mistakes.
Truth. All right. So our first up tonight is Roundup. So you guys know we've been covering this. Man, we covered this a couple months ago. Remember we were talking about Monsanto, the company that makes Roundup weed killer.
Yes.
And remember we were talking about foods to avoid that have some of that lingering weed killer. And remember we also sidebar talked about the first case where the school groundsmen actually sued Monsanto and won because they discovered that Roundup weed killer gave him cancer.
Yeah.
Okay, now a federal jury this week found that Monsanto again is responsible for a 70-year-old man this time, Edwin Hardiman. They said they are guilty for his cancer. They said that Monsanto weed killer, quote, was a substantial factor in him getting cancer. So this guy, 70-year-old, this is Mr. Hardman. And the other guy, this was August of last year, Dwayne Johnson. And remember, guys, he got about 80 million in his. These are only two cases out of literally hundreds.
Right.
Hundreds.
Right.
And
guess
so
what?
far, they're winning.
Monsanto is, it's owned by Bayer.
Right.
Huge pharmaceutical company.
Huge. So you know they have money.
German, and they based in Germany, and they bought Monsanto, and Monsanto by itself was making a lot of money. Bayer took it over, and they are so connected. The pharmaceuticals, that's the mob.
Yeah, they get everything, all the money.
Yeah, they have all the backing. They have the lawyers. They have the lobbyists. I mean, they like a little army. They're military.
So this is why we have this platform, Adverse Reaction, and that we also have to be diligent and pay attention. Glyphosate, that is the chemical that is cancer causing. This is what everybody is debating, right? This is what the judges are saying, hey, this is a substantial factor in these victims getting cancer. And so we had covered this on the show. And remember, we went through the cereals that have high levels of glyphosate in them.
Yes.
And what we discovered, right, guys, was pretty much any cereal that was processed, specifically not organically, even oatmeals, even, cream of wheat, even those cereal bars.
Because they're sprayed with the pesticide.
They're sprayed with the pesticide. Unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't cook off. It doesn't come off when you add your milk.
Right.
Even your soy milk, it's not coming off.
Right.
So we just have to bring that up because we'll keep following it. This is something we've been following for a while, and we're seeing, more cases come up, and Monsanto found guilty again. This is crazy. So guys, please be careful about what you eat. Now, on to something that's going to make some of you mad. Listen, please hear this whole thing out before you get mad. Just hear the whole thing out. Because when we're talking about it in the studio, there were some grumblings. Marijuana smokers, beware. Smoking every day and smoking high potent pot can make you crazy.
Talk to me.
All right. For y'all be like, no, I can't even smoke my reefer. Calm down. Let's listen. First of all, we're not talking about your
old
regular.
self.
Listen. You know our listeners are like all ages. Just don't play us. Don't play us.
Don't play us.
Okay, so it's not your normal back in the day. If you use the word reefer normally, it's not the normal kind.
Nope.
So we're talking about high potent marijuana.
THC is off the charts.
Yes.
Off the charts. And what they're doing is in this study, they said that the study looked at 3 European countries or cities. They discovered that London, Paris, and Amsterdam, that's where the marijuana has a high potency. And that's where they were finding a lot of psychosis.
Really?
This is scary. So they said several past studies have found that the more frequent you are at smoking pot and the type, if it's a higher
Grain or strand.
there we go. There we go. Then you have a higher risk of psychosis.
Right.
And that's going to happen later in life. How scary is that? Because then I know I used to think this. I think of like drugs in this way, like narcotics and marijuana. Like in my mind, like that's narcotics. Or and marijuana and shrooms, maybe. I think of like out the earth,
Yeah, but you don't call those narcotics, do you?
No.
Okay.
But I would think narcotics would make you go crazy because that's what I learned in the 80s growing up. It was
Too
like,
much of
that
anything is not good.
PCP make you lose your mind
Right.
at some later point.
Right.
You're going to have a bad trip. But what they're saying is that this type, and it's really if you smoke every day, and specifically also, in addition, if you smoke these higher grains.
Right.
All right, so those who started using cannabis at 15 or younger had a slightly more elevated risk than those who started using in later years. And we're talking about risk of having a psychosis, right? The study also found that those who use pot daily were 3 times more likely to have a psychotic episode compared to someone who never used drugs. That's... Look, Zoe getting stressed.
I mean, not at all. I don't have to worry about that type of stuff.
All right, so let me just keep going. So the use of high potency weed almost doubled the odds of having psychosis compared to someone who's never smoked, right? And those who have used high potency pot on a daily basis, the risk of psychosis is even greater. In fact, 4 times greater than people who have never used pot at all. So those are your alarming facts.
I will have to actually say this is probably true.
That most.
You think so?
Yeah, as a person that went through a psychotic episode,
You did?
Yep, I did.
He
That would be
told me
me.
about that.
Yep.
So break it down.
Yep. All right. So the last time that I smoked I was in college, and surprising, it was on 420. So
you were smoking a lot because it was 420.
No. Actually, what it was I stopped for a while. I stopped for
Prior to 420.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like before, it probably been like I was a social smoker, every now and then. But yeah, I had stopped for like maybe 6 months to a year, and just one day I decided, hey, you know what? I want to smoke. I don't know if it was the strain. Yeah, I was on campus, and for some reason, I was seeing dragons, and I was tucking and rolling behind trees. And
No.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I did. Yep. I tripped out. It was too strong. And so after that, that was it.
Oh my gosh.
I waved the white flag. It's like, yep, this is not for me anymore,
Man,
ladies and
listen.
gentlemen. It had me tripping.
And I know someone that ate some gummies and had an episode, had to be rushed to the hospital.
Yeah.
And it was all like a panic attack.
Yeah.
No, there's been a couple of rappers that have said that, they felt that they were dying and, went to the hospital.
Not
and
funny.
said, yeah, no, it's not,
not
but
funny.
it's serious.
So
I
you're
mean,
saying-
there are
It's
like
totally funny.
there are certain strength. The THC levels are off the charts now. Like literally,
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
seen people smoke, hit the J 2 times, and then they're stuck. They're just like, I can't. I'm just
And that's
done.
not normal. That's
Done.
not how it used
Yeah.
to be.
No, not at all. Not at all. So I'm going to have to agree with this study.
Dang. Well, y'all have been warned.
Well, a lot happened on social media the other day. Not sure if you heard about comedian Jess Hilarious, who was from Baltimore. There was an incident where there was someone dressed in what would you say, like a turban?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a Sikh. A
Well, yeah,
Sikh
that was-
Indian. So
yeah,
that
Sikh
would
Indian.
be
Right.
Yeah, you could say a turban.
Yeah, was dressed in a turban, but yeah, she I think it started off as a joke, but then I guess she really did feel some type of way, and she went.
You thought it started off as a joke?
Well, I think it did, and then I think as she thought about it, and I think as she started to get defensive, as people were commenting and saying that she was wrong for making the joke, I think that turned into fear and frustration and anger, and yeah.
Because basically she's on a plane sitting, and on a what is it? Maybe like a live social media, and that's how people are responding to her. So she's real time, talking.
Yeah. So, but we have audio of this is how things, I guess, sort of transpired. Listen.
We're on our flight. Where are you going? Where are you going? Put me. If I'm scared, I'm scared. Yo. How y'all feel? Y'all mad at me because I don't side with every other black person, because I don't side with every other race. Y'all, I feel how I feel. I felt threatened, and that was it.
I have to describe the audio. So what you heard at first was, I think the first part was the joke.
Yeah, so she's showing them.
Yeah, she's showing them like, oh, wait, you see these people on a turban, where are they going?
Mm-hmm.
The second clip cuts to a part where she's saying, she feels threatened, scared, blah, blah, blah. She's saying they were evacuated from the plane without cause or reason. Now, I think that's where the bias comes in. It's like, when you get back on the plane, it's like,
and
okay,
you don't see them.
You don't see them. Were they the reason that we got kicked off the plane, or we were, quote unquote, evacuated from the plane? So, with the blogs and a lot of people going off, they were like, yo, you pretty much, you were like biased towards a group of people.
Yeah, you prejudiced. Yeah. People were calling her racist, but she can't be racist.
So,
she's prejudiced, if that were her. Yeah.
Right. So, I think in her mind, she probably was. I mean, as African Americans, we're probably the most judgmental people.
Don't put that on us.
Listen.
Don't put that
I hate
on
to
us,
say
though.
it, yo. We
No,
are
Zoe and
tough.
I agree. No, don't put that on us.
We're tough towards each other.
We're
tough. We're tough towards each other. We're tough towards others.
But we are not the most judged. There are, listen, I know there are Asians that take the cake and they admit it. They say we are the most judgmental. They say that they are the hardest on their family. They have a belief that if they love you, they tell you the truth, whether you look old or fat. They'll be like, you look really old today. And it doesn't mean that they don't love you, but they feel that the world is a harsh place and that you have to get that treatment at home. I'm telling the truth. And I heard this from multiple Asians, whether it be
it's called
Korean, whether it be from India, whether it be, I'm telling you, Chinese. I have heard this from multiple Asians saying, yo, the Asian culture, y'all think y'all got it bad? They're like, I'm like, yeah, no. I mean, we say tough things, but it don't sound like that.
I don't know. Well, with that being said, she issued an apology, and we'll talk more about that. But I want, since we're talking about Jess for a second, and which we'll get into the question for tonight's topic, I want you to hear her apology.
Hey, y'all, what's going on? I know the situation that I'm in now. It's had my head fucked up, as it should. So I've been choked up about it. It's really been bothering me that there's being a picture painted of me like I'm a xenophobe, or, I'm racist, prejudiced, or, So I wrote a statement, and I wrote this myself. Sorry, I didn't go hire a publicist to get me through this, or write it for me, but I feel like nobody can say what I want to say like me. I don't need nobody talking for me, so here it goes. So naturally, in my previous post, I was defensive, but that happens when you don't take the time to really know what's transpiring. And understanding the error of my actions, I have to first acknowledge the rooted issues, which means racially profiling a group of individuals based on their appearance, and on top of that, publicizing it on a platform where others could be hurt by it and others were hurt from it. The feeling of anger and hurt about this situation is very familiar to me, especially being a black woman. So I should definitely empathize more with being racially profiled. On top of that, the climate that this country is in, that didn't do nothing but add fuel to a wildfire that we still fighting to contain. I'm not sure if these particular individuals that were on the plane are aware of my actions by now. But either way, I would love to apologize personally to them first, for my insensitive and ignorant behavior. Yet, I still would like to apologize to all of you who were aware and offended by my actions. Sadly, I had no knowledge of the tragedy in New Zealand until after my video, which doesn't in any way excuse my behavior. I already know that. Nothing excuses it. But it opened up my eyes to a matter of ignorance as a habit that usually invokes hate. I refuse to teach, spread, or be an advocate for hatred. I just want to make people laugh. Bear with me. I'm still learning. And when I say, I'm still learning, I was unaware of Sikhs as well. A lot of them reached out to me, educating me on who they are and, what they stand for and, how they help the world in different ways. I didn't know that. I am ignorant to a lot of shit. Honestly, I'm young. I'm growing in this shit. And I don't understand the power that I have, So I'm learning in it and I'm growing in it. At the same time, I didn't get anybody kicked off of a plane. I didn't say anything to anybody. I didn't get nobody kicked off of a plane for real. So y'all can stop saying that. I am sorry. I'm sorry to the Sikhs. I'm sorry to the Muslims. I'm sorry to that person on the plane. Because one thing I've never been is a person who bashes religion, a person that bashes other races, amongst anything, period. So I am sorry.
She is sorry, boy. She apologized.
Yeah.
A lot.
She sure did.
Yeah, think I'm very well spoken, very sincere. You can see she's very emotional in the video. But with that being said, it just kind of brought up the question: do you think, as African Americans, we should be more understanding? We make jokes and we kind of jump on other people for other things, but being that we've been, I guess, quote unquote, the poster children for inequality and racism.
Right, we know it.
Yeah. First question out there. Let me put out to the callers. First callers, 1-800-450-7876. This raised the question for me, as African Americans, should we be more understanding, being that we have experienced racism? So,
okay,
let's start there.
So it's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
Because the first part I was going to say with poor Jess is like, you got to watch what you post. I
Right.
felt bad for her because I'm sure in the moment she was being funny and just talking to her friend on social media in a sense of like you're talking to one person, you're not realizing, like she said, the power of the platform.
It wasn't one person. It was like
No,
you said, it was a
I
live.
know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, when you do your social media posts, you feel like you're talking to people even though you're not thinking that somebody that doesn't even follow you is going to have access to your stuff.
She has over 4 million followers. So
I understand.
Right.
But I think she was comfortable feeling like I'm talking to people that I know. Mm-hmm. She's not aware that there's Sikhs watching saying, you're being racist to my people.
Well, no, that's the thing. It wasn't just, it was everybody jumping. It was her own people.
I know, but I'm saying also her followers, she's unaware, but I'm saying in the moment, if she's not thinking,
people
I'm going
get so
to
comfortable talking to their phone.
That's my point, is that she's on her phone. She knows she's talking to millions of people.
I think she was in the moment of being a comedian, and doing, or quote unquote, a joke that you may think, like, I mean,
that's my point. My
point
is she thinks this is her audience. She's not realizing that there's people in your audience that are offended by what you're saying. She's thinking like, y'all paid for tickets to my show. We gonna have the same kind of humor right now, and I'm gonna shock you, but I'm just being funny because this is how I feel. Because she goes on, the bleeps were F what you feel. This is what I feel. And she was shaking like, I do feel some type of way looking at them. The problem that we have, and I think a lot of our adverse reactors that call the show say this all the time, but how we as Black people, right? And I would say brown, all shades of minority. A lot of times people of color were taking on this hatred by the majority. And then we start turning on each other, right? Because also we don't want to always be attacked, and we're like, well, look at you, and we're attacking. And it's like, hard to realize. Y'all realize we all of color,
Right.
all of us, and so for her, I know in that moment, I felt like she was just probably talking to her masses in her mind. I don't think she was trying to be hurtful. You know what I mean? I think she was trying to be funny, but felt like it was all good. But like she said, she didn't even know of Sikh people. Like she didn't even know of them.
Right.
That's crazy to me. I mean, I understand the world, but that's crazy
Yeah.
to me. So that's why I know that wasn't her point. And so her apology,
It wasn't her intention.
right.
Yeah.
Her intention was, I'm on a plane. That looked crazy. I think I'm scared.
Right.
Y'all ain't gonna make me feel bad about being scared.
Right,
You know?
right.
Okay, now they not back on the plane. See, I was right. And I don't think
That's the problem with doing this, the live.
that's
and
where I think the problem is, the lie.
The live is because, if she would have even typed it out, she might have, how you read your text before you send, or some people do, right? You should.
you
Cause
can see the words and you get a second to think about it.
there you go. So, but when you just off the cuff and you coming off the top of your head, and like I said, like you looking at your phone, you like
Feeling yourself, in a sense, connecting to yourself.
yeah, but you forget, like you were saying that you get so comfortable, talking to your phone, because I'm not talking to Danella, I'm not talking to Aladdin, I'm talking to my phone. And I know 4 million people have access to it, but I forget because I'm live and I'm off the cuff and I'm just going.
I don't think that's it. I think she's a comedian. Like at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
she
she's going
yeah.
she gonna make a joke.
Yeah.
Like she was in. I
Yeah.
think it started off as joke mode.
Yeah.
It started off as joke mode. People started attacking her,
Right.
And then she started defending what she said,
Right.
Like
'Cause
as
they
a
can
comedian,
have an
'cause
immediate
at
response.
At the end of the
Immediate
day,
response.
a comedian can take is what a job of a comedian is they're supposed to take something that's uncomfortable, a subject that you're quote unquote not supposed to touch, and they turn it into a funny into something that makes you laugh.
No
I don't
one
think she was
laughs.
doing this one. I don't think that's
I don't
where she
think
was going with this
no,
one.
I agree with you, Zoe. I
Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't-
think she was like thinking this is gonna be a skit to go viral. I think she was in the
I don't
moment.
think it was about a skit. And
Okay, good.
I
So
mean,
we agree.
as
This
a
isn't a
comedian, as a
joke.
funny person, it doesn't matter. It could be anything. In the moment, I'm going to say the joke. Like that's how I was raised.
But she don't sound like she joking. There's no sarcasm. She sounds like, look,
She was off the top. She just the thought
this
just
is
popped
just
up.
this is the thought
that's
I had.
exactly. But that's what
But it
people.
kept
That's what
going.
funny people do. If I see
Aladdin,
something funny,
Aladdin,
if
the
I see
point
something
is-
funny and I see your shoes,
Aladdin,
and I'm gonna
the
go in
point
your
is,
shoes, I'm not gonna think about
but
what
do
I'm
you know
saying.
how long it takes for you to deplane, sit, wait for them to figure the stuff out, board the plane again?
I
So then she came
understand that.
back with it.
I understand that.
It's like 3 videos.
Right. What I'm saying is though, when she said
She
whatever
never
she
said I made a joke. She said I felt
I
this way and I'm sorry because I didn't understand
Right.
what they've been through or who they even were.
Right.
That's honest and
See,
that's valuable.
once again, these are 3 different clips. So the first part is I'm talking about in the sequential order of how the clips are, right? She said she was doing whatever. Oh, what's going on here? That's funny. So the next part of the clips that what you're saying is her being defensive of people attacking her.
I'm saying
And
in
on
her
top of that-
apology. In her apology, she says,
right.
quote, I felt this way. I was unaware of Sikh people and
Right.
all the positive things
Right.
they've done in the world.
I-
I didn't realize.
I understand that. That's but
She
what
never
I'm
said
saying
I
is,
was joking.
What I'm saying, I get that. But
Okay.
what I'm saying is, in the moment, it might have been a joke to her. I
Well,
don't
that's
know,
not
and
what
I
she
can't.
said. I don't see it.
I can't say. But I'm just saying, as a comedian, like as people, as somebody that grew up in the joning culture,
Right.
You know what
I
I'm
get
saying?
you, but she's
Like,
not even taking that stance. Like you
I
saying some
get
stuff
that.
she's not even saying. She's not
get
saying
that.
this
I'm
like
not,
a Kevin
I'm not
Hart.
taking up.
This
I'm not
joke
taking
went too
for-
far.
I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is that is point blank period. They're like I mean, like I said, I can't speak for her. I can't speak on what she was thinking when she said it in that
Right.
moment. All I'm saying is in that moment, she said what she felt. And she didn't and she didn't back down on that.
So what you guys think? 1-800-450-7876. 1-800-450-7876. We were speaking on Just Hilarious.
Yes.
From Baltimore, comedian on the plane, saw some Sikhs, made a comment. It went awry. A lot of people got on her. What do you think? You think it's okay? Are we too judgmental? Have we had racism and prejudice happen to us so much that we're numb to doing it to other people?
Again, should Black and brown people be more understanding considering the racism we've all endured?
Adverse reaction. It's a movement.